Hi everybody in English 1301. It's our last week. That came really quickly. I hope you all are doing well. And in this video, what I want to do is just walk through a little bit of what I'm asking you to complete and what the guidelines are for this week's general discussion. Things are a bit more intense this week since it is the final week, so I want to make sure that there aren't any concerns. As usual, if there are concerns, you can always email me, but also I would really like you to consider posting in the Q&A discussion area, because if you have that question, other people might as well. So I'm going to pull up on our screen the instructions for this week. I really want us to think about the use of research and supporting our ideas, right? One of the objectives for this class is to ethically research and to incorporate that research well and in a thought-out way in what we are developing as writers, right? What project we're working on. So for this week, I want us to look at this article by Stedman that I offered to you in PDF format. If you're not able to open that PDF because of whatever device you're using, just let me know and I can send you the link to Stedman's article. But what he's really trying to do is identify those kinds of things that a lot of us as writing instructors come across, or just generally professors see in academic writing. So I think I've said throughout the semester, I want to give you an idea of what my pet peeves are, because I don't think it's fair for me to just have these and have these unrealistic expectations without sharing that with you, because that I don't know how you would intuit all of the things that annoy me as a professor and somebody who grades writing a lot. So Stedman does a really good job of just breaking down some of these ideas, giving examples, explaining those examples, offering ways to fix those things in our own writing. And this is one of those articles that is going to be really useful just now and in future academic writing, because these are indeed pitfalls in the way that generally a lot of us, when we are writing, we do some of these things and have to kind of be reminded every now and again that these are annoyances or these are issues we want to avoid. So what I want you to do after reading and thoroughly thinking about Stedman's article is to then write about it. Right, so he identifies about 6 different what he terms as annoyances, right? So I have here, in your own words, I want you to think about those annoyances, and I want you to look at this particular sentence because I'm trying to kind of model those things that I would like you to do. I put, he identifies these issues as, quote, annoyances, right? I'm using the term that Stedman utilizes, and then I'm offering a page number for where that essentially appears in his text, okay? So that's MLA format. You'll see that the parentheses surround the page number. There's no P period for page. There's no PP for pages. There's nothing else aside from just the page number. Okay, since I'm just talking about Stedman, I don't need to include his name in the parentheses, but in research where you're using a lot of different people and writing about those different resources, you want to be a little bit more specific, but we're just working on a smaller scale this week, okay? Or in this assignment. So in your own words, I want you to explain each annoyance, right, that you've chosen, and I want you to explain the fix. Okay, so he not only gives an example of the annoyance and an example of the fix. I don't want you to just summarize the examples. I want you to actually tell me as your audience, what is this annoyance? How does Stedman define this? And what is the fix just generally? And this will make more sense if you've read the article. If not, go back, read the article, okay? So I want you to kind of read through this first paragraph to get a sense of just basically what I'm asking. And then the second paragraph, it's gonna be longer, right? In the second paragraph, I've identified specifically, I want 4 of those annoyances, okay? And I want you to define essentially the annoyance and the solution. And again, that's in your own words. Okay, I don't want you just copying and pasting from Stedman, because again, that's not ethical research. That's not what we're going for here. This means that you do need to first understand those annoyances. So there are about 6 of them, so only choose those ones that you really understand. There are a couple in there that usually throw off students, and I will offer another video that kind of walks through some of this information so that you can get a clear idea of what to avoid for that final writing that we're going to be doing this week for the paper topic. But right now, just focus on 4. Okay, so work to understand them, consider them, right? And in each paragraph, of which again you'll write four, one for each annoyance, I want you to provide a short single quote from Stedman's article, right? So, you're explaining these things in your own words, but you can always bring in some of his words. And I say short intentionally, right? Do not bring in a whole paragraph. Do not, rely so heavily on Stedman's words that you're not grappling with those ideas and explaining them yourself, okay? That's one kind of pitfall with research. Sometimes we rely so much on other people's words and ideas, we're actually not bringing in our own voice and showing our own understanding. And that's really what all academic writing is about, okay? So I want you to make sure that you're picking the four that you understand clearly and using those citations properly, right? So I urge you to kind of go back up to this paragraph to look at what I'm doing with the parentheses and quotation marks. But you can always go back to the Purdue Online Writing Lab website to kind of see some examples of some of that information and how to use sources. And then I want one final paragraph, right? So we're already talking 4 paragraphs, one each for each of those annoyances. And in the last paragraph, I really want you to just kind of think about yourself as somebody who's reading and learning and writing. What in Stedman's piece what did you learn, right? Or what kind of clicked for you as somebody who does academic writing or is kind of working through how to do academic writing? So I want that last paragraph to be kind of a reflection, right? You are reflecting about your own reading and understanding, okay? So 5 paragraphs in all. And I put, please, y'all, I cannot say this enough. Please revise and edit your work. A lot of you are doing really great jobs every single week to kind of make sure that you're taking a little bit of extra time to do so. I'm still seeing some posts with a lot of errors or things that are making it a little bit hard for me as somebody who's reading your work to understand what your ideas are. Always revise and edit your work, especially when you have kind of this online platform. It seems like it's even more jarring to see some of those mistakes. So make sure that if you can, you're working in Microsoft Word to compose, then revise and edit your work, and then you can just copy and paste in the discussion area. That's just a practice I really urge you to consider, especially with so many of our classes moving forward online, okay? So make sure that you're doing some of that work. And again, if you have any questions about the finals week general discussion, then just let me know. A last thought is that this is much higher in terms of grades than some of the past weeks, right? This is 30 points. So you want to get as many points as possible, and that means, answering everything completely, making sure that you're revising and editing, and before you get to, finalize the work, let me know if you have any questions. All right, take care and look for the next post that's about the paper topic discussion. All right, have a good one.